Now that we're ready to go, we're going to combine our construction knowledge with what we see here in the point cloud. And construction knowledge is going to become pretty critical to being able to model this correctly. So to begin, I do have a second floor in the building, and it's a bonus room, and it's not 9 feet high. So we got to change this level and move it up. It's probably closer to 10 feet. I don't have that in the scan, so I can't really say for sure where it's at. We may not even end up using this because it's not part of what we're actually going to model. The reason I wanted to move it up is mostly just to get it out of the way. We need another level to hit the ceiling or the top of the wall, top of the framing essentially. So architecture level, I'm going to just create a new one of these, which in order to do so you're going to need to be in an elevation or a section view. And we'll name this TOW for top of wall. We'll set it to 9 feet. If it gets in the way of the second floor, maybe we just move that second floor up even higher so that in other views we don't have to keep dealing with it. And just check to make sure that your ceiling is at about the point of this new level that we drew. And that helps ensure that your point cloud once again is in the right spot. Okay, now that we have that underway, I can go into my first floor plan. I've got this set to the scan high so that I can see these walls. I'm going to start drawing, and I'm going to use one of the exterior walls that's already in here and will work out nicely for me. Wood siding on wood stud. Now, even though technically I don't have any wood siding on my house, it's just the siding that really matters. That's all that we need. So I'll use that. It's going to start at the base constraint of the first floor. Top constraint, I want this to be up at the top of wall, and we're going to go around the perimeter, recognizing that usually at the perimeter corner of a house you're going to have some kind of a trim piece. So don't worry about the way that it sort of juts out right there. And I didn't set my location line, so I'm going to hit escape and change it to finish face exterior. Because along the outside, that's all that I have to go, that's all that I can really see to align to. It's just the points on the extreme outside face of my building, or my house in this case. Okay, we'll keep going. And this is going to get pretty boring if you watch me. You might want to just start doing it on your own and let the video play through while you go. Because it's just going to be a lot of the same stuff over and over. And I'm going to go all the way around the house. Maybe eventually I'll do something that makes you wonder, like right through here. I got to think about this. I know what's going on. These are my kitchen cabinets, and I didn't need to draw this length at all. So I'm going to go back to here. Notice that I'm drawing everything in a clockwise fashion. That just ensures that the outside face of this wall is going to be facing the outside in this case. Sometimes you can draw them backwards and then they're inside out. But I believe the way that I'm doing this, I won't run into that problem. Okay, we're in the garage now. Things are really going to get weird when I come to this point because I know that there's some stone on the building. Especially through here, you can tell that the thickness of my wall doesn't really match what the point cloud is showing. And we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to put these walls in until we make a complete loop all the way around the house. We end up with this. I can't see any level of detail at this point, and that's just because I need to change everything to fine. And I am worried that if I ever leave my temporary view and go back here to the regular view, then I'm going to lose that detail. And that's because it's a setting that's sort of embedded within scan high, scan low, etc. Let's go back to scan high, and you can see that I've lost that level of detail. So what I'm going to do to fix that, first I'm going to go out of all my temporary view properties, and let's turn on fine. And actually, I don't know if that's going to fix anything. Let me go to scan low and then out of scan low. Okay, good. Every time we come back here, we're going to see that level of detail. So that's perfect. But now let's go to our temporary apply template properties. And for each of these, we should go find where we adjust that level of detail. And it's going to be right here where it says detail level coarse. And I'm going to turn that up to fine on all three of these. And then click OK. And that will just mean I don't have to keep adjusting it every time I go back and forth. And there may be other adjustments that you want to make that will also help with this process. In fact, another one that I'm thinking of is the fact that I can't see through these walls. So if the points aren't really aligned to the wall, I wouldn't even know. And I can change it by going into wireframe. And similar to changing the level of detail, if that's something I want to see all the time, then I probably better go adjust it so that it will actually stick. Okay, once again, I'm looking at my garage, and once again, we should probably check out the 3D view, because on the front, like I said, there's more than one material, and we need to know exactly where that material exists. So all the way along the garage, I've got it on the outside, but only at the bottom of the wall. Over here it's high, and over here it's low, and then over here low, and then high again. You have to keep those things in mind. If I'm doing a scan high, I've probably put my wall in the right place over here. But when I get to this area, well, now it's harder to say. Plus, I've got that garage door that's completely in the way here. And so I'm not even seeing the entirety of the wall. I'm actually seeing the garage door right here. I think that's going to be fine. But just recognize, as soon as I change this so that it's got stone on the outside, the wall's going to get thicker, and that's going to shift this wall just a little bit. We'll come back to that. Okay, go all the way around and just double check to make sure that you're satisfied with the placement of the wall inside of all the points. And mine is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty clean. In some areas, all you have is the outside, so you know you're just guessing. Just get it close. Okay, good enough for me. Same thing can be said of all these interior walls. We want to use, for the most part, the same datum. We just want to go up to the top of wall. And for a lot of them, you can't really even see what's going on. You know, over here there are bedrooms. This is the master bedroom right here. There's a bathroom over here. You don't need to worry about all that. If I go into maybe a lower scan, you should be able to see that there's a wall that goes to here. I don't know quite what I'm looking at through here. It almost makes me think I'm seeing some of the basement. Yeah, I believe that I am. If I do a low scan, that's the wall that I want you to be able to identify. And so you could put interior walls that go to here. That's the door opening. It goes to here, wraps around, and then does something like this. And I don't really care if you get that part right or wrong. Let's go ahead and start. I'll use an interior wall. We'll go with the 4.5-inch partition. And in places like this, you know, that needs to line up. So once again, let's change the location line. It doesn't matter now if you go with finish face, interior or exterior, simply because it's an inside wall. Okay, and that looks as though my wall almost follows the point cloud. And I can adjust these two walls together, and it looks like that would be a fair thing to do. I could push this exterior wall upward just a little bit, and that would shift this interior wall to fit a little bit better. do something like this. And again, I'm just going to get it close. I know the house, so I know that there's a 45 right here, and then it does something like this. You can see I'm getting some of these a little bit out of position. I'm not too worried about it because I know that I can fix them later. And fixing them will entail going back into wireframe, and then I'll just push them into place. I'm just using my arrow key to do that. You probably already guessed that's what I was doing. But I'm just using my arrow key to move them left, right, up, down. I'm looking to be close, not perfect. That one's pretty good almost. And I think this goes back to about there. And this probably goes over farther because there's got to be room for a door here and a door here. Yeah, something like that is as good as we need it to be. And then once again, you've seen my process, so you get to continue. You can keep doing all the rest of these walls if you think they are walls. And if you're not sure, just go back to the scan. Maybe before I just start working on that, I'm going to mention what I did previously here, and that's that I can move both of these walls together, and that actually does look better. Hopefully there's siding on that wall, right? That's stone. So the reason that concerns me is because that means this wall is going to get thicker, and so the back of it's going to be somewhere in here, and this wall still has to align to the back or interior side, which means this wall is going to get pushed to something like that. And that's just what I'm going to have to do. I mean, I can't imagine there being an offset in here, and I've been inside that bedroom and there is no little jog in the wall, so what else can you do? Okay, but I'm going to keep working. Once again, you can just let the video run while you do your own, or you can watch to see what I do in specific locations. Not sure if you can hear my computer fan or not. I hope it's not a distraction, but I feel like my computer's about to explode. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, my computer didn't explode, but it keeps making strange noises. The fan stopped, but yeah, it's going to keep doing this. All I can do is hope that you can hear my voice well over the sound of that fan. My apologies, but I'm too far into this video to stop now. I think I need a new computer. But anyways, now that I've gotten just a little bit of the way through here, there's some explanation that you're going to need. Number one, there isn't a wall that runs across here. There may actually be. You can go look in the scan and see it, but it's only up high. It's above the stair, and that's what I'm looking at right here. There's just a stair tread. Through here, when you come in across something like that, well, that's a good time to say, maybe I should just change to a different position within the scan. I'm going to go ahead and go to the temporary properties, and I'm going to show you where you can change the, let's see, the display model. No, I want to go into wireframe, and one of these will let me do it. Model display. Yeah, change that to wireframe. And I'm going to do it on all mine because I just keep needing it. Model display, wireframe, and one more time. Wireframe, okay, perfect. Now I'll see that on all of them. And having switched over now to the high scan, this wall makes a lot more sense. Once we get to here, we hit cabinets. So I don't know that you're ever really going to see the wall. I think it's pretty well disguised. Maybe on the mid, we can try that. Yeah, you start to see it just a little bit here above the countertop. But a lot of that wall, it's hard to see. Over here, this is my mudroom. And if I go to scan high, you can see that wall better. I didn't place this wall yet, or this wall, which is the edge of the stair, or this wall, simply because that's going to be a 2x6 wall. We'll take our regular 2x4 here, we'll edit the type, and we're going to duplicate. We'll call it 6.5-inch partition instead of the 4.5. And I'm going to have to rename mine something else. And you might also have to, in fact, let's just go find the 6.5. Maybe what I'll do is take this wall here, just place it, and swap it out for the 6.5-inch partition. Okay, and what we've got here is just a metal stud wall. I mean, it's almost as good, but it's a metal stud wall. And unfortunately, my scan high doesn't have the right level of detail. Yeah, it does. Okay, that's odd. I'm not seeing it, but it does say we're set to fine, and yet all I'm seeing is, oh, I know what's happening. Okay, you may have made the same mistake that I did, but all these interior walls, I didn't set them to the top of wall. And so I just need to go up to level top of wall. Then they'll run through my cut here when I'm at the high scan. Same with this one. I want to make sure that all the walls we place are set properly. Okay, now I've got this 6.5-inch partition. I'm going to edit the type, and we're going to swap out the metal stud layer for lumber, and it should just be softwood lumber. I don't think it matters which one you pick here. Softwood lumber, and then it's a proper 6-inch wall, or a wall with a 2x6 stud. One of the things we may run into, I'm going to do create similar for this, and I'll come back and fix that in a minute, but I just want to point out one of the things we may run into is the simple fact that I think I have thicker than 1/2-inch sheetrock on some of these walls in my house. Even in places where it wouldn't really make sense, like you wouldn't have to, there wouldn't be any code requirement for it, but I've just noticed that as I've done some remodels with my house, that there are several places where I sense a thicker sheetrock. So if you run into that, just either leave it alone or recognize why your wall doesn't line up, and maybe you can change the thickness of the sheetrock for this 2x6 wall. Okay, on something like this, I want to make sure that I use the AL Align tool and hit Tab to be able to align and maybe even lock two walls together so that if I move one, I'm going to move the other. So one more time, that's AL for Align. Choose the line with Tab by just pushing it, don't hold it, just tap it. Choose the line that you want to align to, and then the line you want to move, and then lock it if that's what you think is best. On this one, I'm also going to do something where we can have that sheetrock wrap around the face or the edge of the wall, wrapping at inserts and wrapping at ends. At ends, we'll say interior or exterior. It doesn't matter. It's just picking the material on either your interior or exterior and wrapping it around. And in my case, I got the same material and on both the inside and the outside, so that will work. And that does seem to fit within the thickness of that wall right there, so I don't think that I do need a different wall thickness. Okay, in my mudroom, I know that you can't see it and you didn't see it, but it does something like this. And actually, I believe this part is garage, so that should be a 6-inch partition right there too. And then I guess I got to think about this. We'll just draw a wall back and then forth again, like so. And the stairs, what's happening is you go up the stairs, there's a landing right here, and then they turn this way. So this wall technically would continue. There's this much of that space that takes up garage area, but We're not so concerned about that. Let's just leave this the way that it is for now. I think that'll be great. And make sure to resolve areas like this. That wall needs to line up, because this is what happens in my bedroom. This is my fireplace. In my bedroom, there's just a wall straight across there. So if I could, I'd even lock this if it'll let me. I'd have to use the align tool to do that. Maybe I will. Seems like a good idea. And then you've got more walls to go do down in the basement. I guess I should finish this out too. That's the wall separating my mudroom from the stairwell. And then you can tell that there's another wall right here, and that's a little alcove. And I'll just show you that in the scan. That's this area right here. So you're seeing the wall in the back if you're in the right scan. What am I in? I'm in high, and I'm actually surprised to see that wall. What if I go to mid? Does it move that wall? I feel like it does, and I feel like this is where the wall actually sits. I don't know what I was seeing in the high scan, but it couldn't have been that wall because the cabinets are too high, so it's that mid that should be picking out that surface right there. Okay. Go do more of this down in the basement, and make sure to get the walls aligned right as far as base constraint, top constraint. In my basement, you may have to do something to be able to even see all the walls, or I guess another way of putting that is to adjust the height of your scan or your cut plane. And if I were doing this, I would simply take, well, I better do this with you. We're going to take a wall, and it's going to be 4.5 inch partition. We're going to edit the type and duplicate it, and we'll call this 4.5, no, we'll call this 4 inch. Should have left partition. 4 inch partition, we'll say gypsum wallboard, GWB, one side. And that means on the exterior face, this number 1 is exterior because it says exterior at the top and interior at the bottom. We're going to take that and just delete it. And then we're left with a wall like this. Make sure I did that right. Let's see, we got to change our level of detail to fine. Yep, that's what we want. We want a wall that just has the sheetrock here. On this side, there's going to be concrete. There should be a little gap and then concrete to form the exterior foundation walls. So we don't want sheetrock over there. And this is really all that we have to do. Just run all the way around. Here, here, here. You kind of want to stop. This wall is going to turn this way and then run that direction. And this spot, I believe, is my mechanical room. So again, the wall will come here, here, run across, and you'll change the wall type here so that you're going to have sheetrock on 2 sides where it separates the mud room, or sorry, the mechanical room. Yeah, so the wall will come here, here, here. That'll be sheetrock 2 sides, and then here, sheetrock 2 sides. All of this is sheetrock 2 sides because that's just hallway leading to other spaces. And then same with this one, and then here you'll start doing the sheetrock just on one side again, all the way back to the start. Okay, that should do it for my instruction on walls. There's more to come when we do the foundation, but I'll save the descriptions for that video.